In the last section, we started working on the campaign new component. Our ultimate goal with this thing is to eventually show a form to the user. Notice that we also want to make sure that we have our header at the top of the screen as well. I think that the first thing we should do is import our layout component and show it inside of this one. That will make sure that our header appears on the screen. Back inside of new.js, I'll go up to the top and we're going to import layout from, and then notice that the path here is going to be a little bit confusing. So we're going to go up 2 directories into components and then get layout.js. So we'll do // components layout, like so. Then we're going to add that layout tag to wrap all the content inside of campaign new. So I'm going to do a little bit of reformatting here. I'm going to first add on a set of parentheses, like so. Do make sure you get the semicolon, if you had one, away from the end of this H1. And then we'll place our layout component around it. All right, let's save this and see how we're doing. If we go back over, that's interesting. So we definitely see the text of our header appear on the screen, but it completely lost its styling. So here's the thing. If you recall, when we had previously wired up CSS inside of our project, we had manually added that link tag to our campaign index component. So if we go down just a little bit down to the render method, yeah, right here. So this is where we had just done a little bit of a hack and thrown the link tag directly in. So I think that we definitely need to move this link tag somewhere else. Because this component is only rendered if a user goes to the root route, this link tag never appears if a user now goes directly to the campaigns/new route. So we need to move it to some location where that link tag will always be loaded up. Fortunately, at this point, we now have one single component that we know is always going to be rendered to the screen, and that is the layout component. So I think that we should move the layout component, or excuse me, the link tag over to that layout. I'm going to copy this thing, or I'm going to cut it, excuse me. I'm going to make sure I save the index.js file, and then I'm going to open up my layout.js file. Then inside of here, I'll paste that link tag directly in. Now, even this seems to be like a little bit of a hack right here, right? Like, why are we just directly copy pasting in a link tag? As you probably very well know, we really want to make sure that all of our link tags are placed into the head tag of our HTML document, as opposed to just appearing randomly somewhere inside of some component. Fortunately, Next.js has a great solution for getting this link tag from this component right here up into the head tag. So we're going to add a little bit of code that's going to take this thing and move it up into the head. Let's add the code first, and then we'll talk about exactly how it's working. Up at the top, we're going to import a little helper from the Next library. We're going to say import head from next/head, like so. This head thing right here is a component. We can use it inside of any other React component. If we place any other tags inside this thing, those child tags will be automatically moved up to the head tag of our HTML document. So in other words, if we wrap the link tag right here with head, everything inside of head will be automatically moved up to the head tag of our HTML document. Let's save this layout.js file and then go refresh our browser, and we should be able to explore our HTML structure in the DevTools and verify that the link is moved successfully. So I'm going to save this. We'll go back over to the browser. I'm going to make sure I refresh the page. Now immediately you'll see our styling appear here, and it definitely looks like the header looks much better than it did before. If we now open up the head tag at the very top inside the Elements pane of my DevTools, we can scroll down a little bit and eventually we'll see the link tag for semantic UI. Here it is right here. So even though maybe this is not the most appropriate location to place a link tag traditionally, this is at least a component that we know will always be rendered on every page of our application. And so even though it's not the most classic place to set up a link tag, it definitely ends up in the correct location at the end of the day. One thing I want you to be aware of is that we can use this head tag not only for link tags or script tags or other things like that, but we can also use this to add other tags to the head as well, like say meta tags for SEO purposes. All right, so now we've definitely got our CSS appearing on this new campaign page. So let's continue in the next video and continue developing this thing.